Explain what happened here. You're basically asserting that Joe Biden, whether or not Barack Obama knew about this, undermined U.S. interests by letting this sale happen to China back in 2016. It was clearly not in the best interest of the United States at the time or at any time. Take us through what's going on here.
Well, what we've learned is in 2016, Hunter Biden and one of his consulting firms worked with China to be able to navigate a sale that never should have happened. It was a sale from an Arizona-owned company that mines cobalt in the Congo. And Hunter Biden just made the sale without any restrictions or any hesitation or any problems from the federal government. Now, what we know is China is a threat to our national security. And at this time, the Obama administration was pushing more electric vehicles. Cobalt is an essential component of making batteries for electric vehicles. So now that this American-owned cobalt company changed hands to a Chinese cobalt company, we're even more dependent on China. So this is a national security threat to the United States. Hunter Biden is a national security threat to the United States. And we want to preserve the documents so that when we have subpoena power, Hunter Biden can come before the House Republicans and explain exactly what happened.
Starting in January 2023, possibly.
Hopefully before then,
right.
But definitely in January 2023 when the House flips and we can finally provide some type of oversight for the Biden administration.
Wow.
Yeah. Sir, if this is all accurate, why wouldn't the Obama administration intervene to stop that?
That's a great question, and we want to know that as well. We'll try to communicate with people from the Obama administration, but it just seems like anytime Hunter Biden's involved in some money-making scheme, whether it's with the current Biden administration or the former Obama Biden administration, he just gets a free pass. And everything he does is dealing with the foreign national. We believe some of the artwork that he sold ended up in China. We're still working on that. But back to this cobalt, this is a serious issue because the more essential rare earth minerals that China monopolizes, the harder it's going to be for the United States to convert to electric batteries, which is, of course, is what the Green New Deal is all about, which is what the Biden administration is pushing. So why would you allow a sale like this to a country like China that's clearly trying to monopolize the market? That just makes us more dependent on China. And how much money did Hunter Biden make off this deal? This deal should have never happened. The federal government is supposed to have checks and balances to prevent China from continuing its domination of the world market of these rare earth minerals. But the American government turned a blind eye to Hunter Biden.
By the way, Hunter Biden, TW, to you next. Hunter Biden, by the way, his own admission on CBS this morning, he told the world that he was, apparently he's in recovery now, but he was very much in the throes of drug addiction in 2016. You really want Hunter Biden leading our international relations while he's doing coke and other nefarious drugs? Again, his words, not mine. TW to you.
Rob, yeah, you bring up such a good point. But, Congressman, I want to talk about a point that you made. I'm so happy to hear you say something that I hear very few elected officials saying, is that China is a threat to our national security. And we know that Joe Biden is on record many times saying that they're not, saying that they're actually an ally of the United States, that we should work more closely with them. He said that numerous times in his previous life as vice president and as a senator. My question to you is, explain to the American people why the Chinese are such a threat to America and why their emergence as a near competitor of the United States creates such an issue for us as a country from a national security standpoint.
Well, from a national security standpoint, they're in a tremendous financial position. Their economy is growing, and their economy is probably going to pass our GDP in America next year.
Wow.
They continue to purchase all the rare earth mineral mining sites all across the world. And why this is important is if you're going to convert to battery-powered vehicles, you have to have these rare earth minerals like cobalt. At one point in America, American companies owned 100% of the majority of these rare earth minerals used to manufacture batteries. Now we don't own any. We don't own any. And it's a huge problem because if we convert to electric vehicles, especially in the military, like Ocasio-Cortez and some of the squad want to do, then China could shut us off. They could turn the light switch off. China's investing in their military. They're buying rare earth minerals. They're cornering the market. They're stealing our patents and our intellectual property. And yet this administration won't even try to hold China accountable for the origination of COVID, much less the damaging companies that they're buying around the world to put us at a national security disadvantage.
Congressman, it's so scary. I just want to show what's happening right now. We've been keeping a close eye on everything happening in Geneva, Switzerland. Antony Blinken, our Secretary of State, meeting with Sergei Lavrov, his counterpart in Geneva. The Secretary of State is speaking right now. Joe Biden created quite a mess for himself during that press conference 2 nights ago. Yesterday, Jen Psaki, Kamala Harris, and the president himself went out there and tried to clear up that mess. Here's Joe Biden speaking yesterday. Notice that he's reading from a script when he says this, but this is Joe Biden saying very definitively that if Russia invades Ukraine, there's going to be big problems. Take a listen, then we'll get some reaction.
Well, let me start by first saying a few words about Russia and Ukraine. I've been absolutely clear with President Putin. He has no misunderstanding. If any assembled Russian units move across the Ukrainian border, that is an invasion. But it will be met with severe and coordinated economic response that I've discussed in detail with our allies, as well as laid out very clearly for President Putin.
Congressman, what's your impression of the last 48 hours? Joe Biden has created a complete mess of this entire situation as his Secretary of State is overseas trying to clean it up.
Well, it's always better when Joe Biden reads from a script versus going impromptu. But he clearly made a mistake. But this, if you go back to the debacle in Afghanistan, this was really the first test of Joe Biden to demonstrate his military strength, his foreign policy strength, and he failed miserably. I can't imagine failing worse than he did in Afghanistan. And that sent a signal to our adversaries, to Russia, to China, that the United States isn't as strong as it was under Donald Trump. And I just don't think Putin is very scared of Joe Biden's threats. I mean, take away the misspeak that he had 2 days ago that got us in this situation. Even if he had read from his script then and hadn't misspoke,
right,
they're still not afraid of the United States.
That's a great point.
And that's very, very sad, because Putin was afraid of the Trump administration. And I believe North Korea was afraid of the Trump administration.
Peace through strength.
We've got a long way to go to build back our reputation on the national level, on the international level.
Chrissy Clark, we've got about 30 seconds left. If we can get a question and answer in with the congressman, that would be excellent.
Of course. So I assume that this is going to be the beginning of the probes for Republicans as they head into the midterms and hopefully win. The Democrats spent approximately $32 million on the Russia probe. And I'm just curious, Republicans were justifiably really angry about excess spending. How can you ensure that Hunter Biden probes will not spend that much money, Congressman?
Well, we're going to be very efficient. We've already accumulated a lot of information. We've asked for preservation of documents dating back to the Obama administration. We're using the 7-member rule, which only the House Oversight Committee has. Jim Jordan and I are using that a lot. I think we're going to be able to hit the ground running with investigations. I think you're going to see a lot of very important investigations as early as January.